So we are, it is very important for us to contemplate and reflect again and again that how our mind is different from especially the mammals in the animal kingdom, because that will help us to recognize what animals do. We can give a break to those. We carry all those traits. And one of the most important thing that we have an intellect that can have a right desire and to pursue the right desire. How to know? How to know the right desire? Before going there, remember all these 10 questions. So we will cover these 10 questions in these sessions. What is the goal of life? Simple line answer. It is to realize my real self. It is to know my real nature. Or you can say to achieve permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is the goal of every human being. What is the second question? Second question, what is the common desire for all the living species? Common desire of all the living species, whether they know it, whether they don't know it. The animals and the other living species do not know that they are also looking for peace and happiness, but we know. That is the big difference. Because we know, we can achieve that. Then the next question, these questions are asked by the intellect, and this master has gathered all these questions. He said that if you answer these questions logically, with a clarity, then the journey becomes easy. And what is the third question? The third question is, what exactly is the end of suffering and permanent peace? So you have heard the word, very common word, nirvana, another word, salvation, another word, kaivalya, another word, uh, awakening, another word, self-realization. These are the common. That is the that is a, these are the words that answers one question. Third question: what exactly is the end of suffering and permanent happiness? And then what is the fourth question? What brings moksha and nirvana or the spiritual life? What exactly is moksha? What exactly is nirvana? One line answer, one phrase answer, self knowledge. Don't get carried away by the experience of mysticism, occultism. I am walking on fire. Then what? Do you know yourself? Walking on fire. We have lot of stuff going on everywhere. So there is no mysticism and occultism associated with the self knowledge, or you say nirvana, or you can say moksha, or you can say salvation, or self realization, or awakening. You see the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. They don't say that, okay, close your eyes, I will take you to heaven. But the moment you recognize that, heaven means that I will lose this body, you say, no, I'm not interested. Bye bye. So we have a fear. So these are the four questions. And let me take the fifth question. What is self knowledge? Knowing my true nature and dropping the false nature. So when you drop the false nature, then how to start the journey? Sixth question. Let us take, one line answer. So what is the sixth question? Okay, then how to get the self knowledge? So the master answers direct self-knowledge, indirect self-knowledge. What is indirect self-knowledge? So indirect self-knowledge by listening and learning from the teacher who teaches from the text of the Eastern wisdom. Indirect knowledge. And what is direct knowledge? You realize that you are a real self. Now, what is the difference between it? Now you intellectually understand this is real self. So when you experience that you are the real self, that is direct knowledge. You see the systematic approach of this master. So that is why I thought that I should take up this text for teaching. Now the master says, who gets the indirect knowledge? Did you understand indirect knowledge? I make you understand this is the real self, and you understand this is the real self. This is indirect knowledge. So indirect knowledge where the text and the teacher both are involved. And what is the direct knowledge? Where you don't need a teacher and the text. You don't need this beard and old guy. Well, I know it. So who gets the, but now your question is, who gets the indirect knowledge? I'm not saying this master is saying. Who gets the indirect knowledge? The seeker gets the indirect knowledge. Non-seeker doesn't get it. The seeker is a mental state that qualifies to receive that indirect knowledge. And now see the 8th question. Let me cover all. How indirect knowledge of the real self takes place? How indirect knowledge of the real self takes place? When you are listening and learning from a teacher who teaches from the text, every teacher teaches the same thing. Now, they have a different experience based on their realization, based on their awakening. But they have to teach from the same principles. How indirect knowledge of the real self takes place? That is the 8th question. And who has a conviction? When we go to the judge in the court, so normally we talk about conviction rate is hardly 2 or 3%. What is conviction rate here? So if the conviction is there, conviction is a trait of the intellect who settles the knowledge. What do you mean by it? I don't understand. So simple. Do you ever forget your name is John? Your name is Mead? No, you don't forget. 100% conviction. Do you know your home? Yes, I know. Do you know what car you possess? 100% conviction. Do you have even 0.0001% doubt, John, that Sophie is your honey? Conviction, 100% conviction. You see how the intellect has to work in the journey of the self-discovery. So what happens by the indirect knowledge? Now, first, 8th question, how indirect knowledge of the real self takes place. So we have to apply the discernment and dispassion. The mind should remain in the state of the calmness, in the state of withdrawal of itself. It should be gathered inside instead of it is scattered outside. So those traits are there. Then this intellect settles the knowledge of the real self. You have yet to realize. 9th question is, what happens by the indirect self-knowledge? Conviction. Conviction. This conviction has to be 100%. That is why it is taking a time. If the conviction is not 100%, it will not happen. I know what is my nature. I know my nature is full of permanent peace and happiness. How you are expressing itself in a stress. That is not conviction. You have a big face and I know, real guy told me that, I'm in peace and happiness. Oh, don't you look like that you are in peace and happiness? You don't have that conviction rate. Just see that. So logical. Nothing has to do with the mysticism and occultism. And he used to ask me very early in the morning, oh, is there a God? When we met together. And does not. I said, let us follow the path. And the 10th question is when indirect knowledge completes or ends. Now see that. Then comes the direct knowledge. When indirect knowledge completes or ends. When a person becomes a seeker, he never fails to listen, understand, contemplate, reflect, and practice every day. Yeah, practicing every day. It has become your daily routine. Your commitment is there, sincerity is there, and the time comes the indirect knowledge completes or ends. The moment indirect knowledge completes and ends, the direct knowledge dawns. We have this around 50, 60 questions. So what I'm doing, I'm picking up each and every question and then we are opening up so that we can have clarity beyond doubt. We have conviction. Now you're teaching me 1 hour in a week and who cares? I have a lot of things to do in my life. Now compare this statement with the first question, what is the goal of life? And what is the common desire of every human being? Compare this, you will get an answer. So when mind says, I'm absolutely busy, you see, my friends, I tell you a very interesting thing. To discover permanent peace and happiness is the only goal of human life. Your mind will say, how many times you are going to repeat it? I know it. No, I'm talking about conviction. When you are fully busy, when you have an emergency, the first thing that you drop is the session. Tell me if it is not. You see, I have an urgency. I have an emergency. The first thing you drop, which is most important to know my real self, that I drop the session. Tell me if it is not true. We know, we don't tell you. We say, okay, continue. Tell me, is it not a fact? Why you drop a session? I have a headache. You must attend the session because you have a headache. Do you? Are you understanding from these questions? It's only an understanding. So that is why the teacher goes on talking to make us understand. That is, I've seen majority, but I have also seen there are people that they don't want to drop even a single session, and they say to me that it is most important. So when I say what is the common desire of all the living species, the other living species do not understand, but intellectually I understand. It is a journey of the self discovery where I would realize peace and happiness as my essential nature at all time, in all locations, in all places, in all relationship. Hence, it is the most important thing to do. Not only in 1 hour every week, but I have to put an agenda every day in order to bring about the change in your life. My master, that inspired me a bit. My master used to wake up at 2 a.m. every day. He used to, first thing, he used to go to the bathroom, take a bath, come down, sit down, and he is sitting for almost 2 to 3 hours, 2:30 to 5:30. There was a notice in the front of his room in a monastery, please, no meeting between 2:30 a.m. to 5:30. And that I have seen him for 20. I said, you are already realized why you are doing it. He said, yes, I don't need it. I'm doing for you guys. I'm setting an example so that you will understand. And it's not a one-day affair. It took me a couple of years when I reached to that state. I also wake up at 3:30 and 3:30 to 6:30. I don't pick up anything. The word does not exist for me. I'm with myself. How many times I have never missed a session, I would say, in 4 years. 4 years, not a single session, whether it is Saturday, Sunday, whether I'm on a vacation to some places. Yes, I also go on vacation. You don't recognize. Why you don't recognize? I tell you, now you will have a doubt every day, every time. I put the I put the background so you don't know whether I'm sitting at home or outside. And majority of the time, sometime last month I was on a vacation. No commitment is required. I'm just briefly taking up these 10 questions. So, so, so there also, wherever I go in vacation, nobody goes out early in the morning from 3:30 to 6:30. So I have free time. I let me complete my job. 6:30, I'm ready. Last month we went to Taos. It's a canyon surrounded by a couple of lakes in New Mexico. 16 hours of driving. Did you find any sign of? I drove. I drove on Sunday. There is no session, and then I'm ready for Monday in the morning. I took a session, 2 sessions, and then I drove another 4 hours to reach there. If you commit yourself, it is 100% possible. I'm just giving you a rough idea that how it works and how we observe and understand. Commitment is there. That this commitment means I am committed to my goal of life. You have $1 million, you have $5,000, or you have any amount of dollar. Nothing, no amount of the dollar can give you permanent peace and happiness. This journey will give you commitment. Commitment means that we prepare ourselves to know what are the rules and what are the principles and what practice is required. What practice is required? Practice, 24-hour practice is required. That is discernment and dispassion. Another practice that I give a small practice that you are doing it daily. So that principles are the rules, the way the rules of the road works while driving. These principles are kept in the intellect. They work like a GPS. When you do the practice, it helps you reach to that state. Purely logical. I've been saying hundreds of times. Another way that you attend the session, you do the practice, and every day you notice. What do you notice? You rise in awareness. How can you measure rise in awareness? How can you measure rise in awareness? You don't see. It has no color. It has no shape. So the master gave us the simple tools. As you continue the practice, you understand, you have a conviction, you are preparing yourself to be a seeker. So what happens? The first thing is that the events on which you used to get anxious reacting, now you are not getting. In your relations, in the events, that is rising awareness. One aspect. But what is the principle known as a sense of detachment is there? Now you are not affected. Now you don't get upset. You don't get upset with honey, for example, on those things which you used to get upset before. Now you have a clarity. What clarity comes? That 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 is another word which say dispassion. What is that another word? That is known as the dispassion. That word is known as the dispassion. That is another stage of rise in awareness. Now your intellect responds in harmony, understanding that my honey has this level of awareness. He and she will continue to do these activities because she is not rising in awareness. I have risen in awareness. I live in higher awareness. I can have that level of endurance and the calmness. So you see these two indicators. One is the detachment, and other is the dispassion. Your mind may ask, what will happen? Can I tell you what will? Your mind is not going to wander anywhere. It is naturally steady. Whatever you are doing, you are 100% focused there. Your mind is not inviting any sense of emotional attachment and emotional dependence. I have yet to achieve the goal, but these changes will take place. Listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, practice. First step, you're doing it regularly. The first result, rise in awareness. First rise in awareness, a sense of detachment. Second, second, uh, second effect or result. Second effect is the state of dispassion. What is the third? Mind is naturally steady. Now you wake up in the morning, you are not in a hurry. You are not fully busy. You take the things, you take the world lightly, the entire world lightly. Lightly, it means consciously, not unconsciously. I read that, one's house was on fire, and, he was lazy. So being lazy and living in a higher awareness are two things. Ah, I understand. Lazy also says, then what, no problem. So this lazy guy whose house was on fire, he said his honey woke him up and said, "Oh, just call the fire station." So he called the fire station. Who is there? I'm superintendent. So how are you doing, honey? Come on, you have to tell that your house is on fire instead of asking how are you. So how are you, kids? I have heard that you have two kids. And after 15 minutes, he says, if you have time, then you can come on me. My house is on fire. so, so, so you should be. So being lazy and being aware. When you live in a higher awareness, there is no outer impact. So you may look like a lazy. You are casual, but you are aware. So being lazy and outer level, it appears the same. You live in a higher awareness. That makes your mind naturally steady. Lazy mind is also steady because it no unwanted, unwelcome thought triggers. Only one thought: I don't want to get up. So these are the two major differences. The master said that I'm setting an example. I don't need to do the practice. So now you are learning from me, and you see that even after reaching to that state, I let me follow this discipline. That inspired me tremendous, and I worked for many years, maybe 10 years, to reach to this state. But what your commitment in the mind, that sense of remembering and recalling, commitment to the goal, will ultimately give you a sign that yes, you are moving ahead every week and every month and every year. That helps us to become the seeker. Oh, and no, then came to my house. So I have my own setup. I do everything. The moment I wake up, and I don't want to disturb. Sometimes what happens, people? Now I'm on a spiritual journey. You wake up around 4 and you disturb everyone to show that I wake up at 4. There are people. There are people. Why? How do I know? They tell me. That everyone disturbs me. Oh, I know you disturb everyone. That is not becoming a seeker. You do it everything silently. I found a very little place and where I do everything, give the sessions, and close my glass door, and finished. That is all. That is the way this journey works on these 10 questions. So we will pick up detail from the first question. Close your eyes. Let us start our practice, my friends. Eyes are closed and you're comfortable. Now, see, I tell you, it's better to talk with the rise in awareness. With the reference to, I would say, moving their mind within. You see what I used to say, being comfortable. You look at the neck joint, move the mind there, feel, move the mind on the neck joint. Feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now pay attention to the phrase I'm using in giving you the practice. Then I say move the mind within the neck joint, become aware of the space, blankness. Space is awareness, and awareness is space. So wherever I have used the word move the mind, fact is that it is a journey of rise in awareness. Now pay attention that you will understand in a much better way. Why didn't you tell me before? Oh, you need to do the practice every day. So now when I say become move the mind on the shoulder joint, it is not a movement, it is basically a rise in awareness. And when I say experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness, it is further rise in awareness. When I say experience the space, it is further rise in awareness. Possibly in today's session, you will have a deeper understanding, and then whenever you do the practice, your mind settles in the comfort, sensation, and steadiness, and in the state of emptiness or a blankness inside, even you are with your honey in your relations at any time, at any event, and any location. So, what is going to happen? There is a sense of natural steadiness. So simple and yet so challenging. So, that is why I have divided the first two steps. So the entire body. Now, do that with understanding. Move the mind on the entire body. You feel, experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind deep within. It is the space, blankness, or emptiness. That is the rise in awareness, my friends. What else, in what way, I should make you understand? Do you see in every the step may be the same in every session, but I add something very subtle. Now being carefree, carefree. So if he wrote me the lane one, whenever the mind goes to the lane one, I simply move on to the lane two. Wonderful, beautiful experience. You are changing. You should share. So lane one, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. They are also the level of awareness. It tells you you live in a higher awareness or lower awareness. You look at the body of someone, say my body, and you say, okay, this beer guy has come. But you see, do you become aware of the face and the expression and the delivery? That is very subtle. You normally we do not know whether you are angry or upset, what thoughts are going on. They are the subtler level of awareness. But if you maintain that awareness, following the rules, you can come to know, you can read the thoughts of the mind of others so easy. So now we are reading our own thoughts. Whatever the thoughts are coming, that is lane one. And the observer who knows, who is the knower, is the lane two of the mind. Both are the mind. Or I can say one is mind, other is intellect. What is the beauty? The moment you become an observer, or I can say you become a seer, another name, you become a witness. So you are a witness to the traffic jam, How you are a witness? You are standing across. You have separated yourself from the traffic. Same way, you are separated yourself mentally, cognitively from the lane one where you find the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are coming and going. The moment you have separated, you are free. Now compare this with the rules of the road, the sense of detachment, and detachment has come. No, but still, my mind often jumps to the lane one, or you can say frequently. Okay, we have a treatment for that. So you're looking inside the forehead and start breathing quick and short and gentle breath from both the nostrils into the chest. Keep your attention deeper inside the forehead. You keep looking into the space inside the forehead and continue short and gentle breath through both the nostrils into the chest. So, how do you recognize you are breathing from the chest? Because there is an expansion and contraction of the chest continues. Continue. Can you withstand the 2 minutes of the practice today without stopping, without changing? Just do it. Let us see. That means what? Rise in awareness. That means a level of endurance you can bypass. You can definitely bypass. And stop it. What you do now, recognize and accept the changes that is taking place. Accept the changes that is taking place at this moment. It may be tingling, numbness, relaxation, freshness, calmness, or nothing, whatever the changes. These are the moments when the mind is already within. A contemplation and reflection works the best. whereas through a particular mantra, or you can say a particular thought process. So we introduce the thought process. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. Now see, outer expression in a phrase, let everyone be happy, it appears as if I'm seeking a happiness for all. Answer is yes, but in a different way, because happiness is the essential nature of every living species. That is why I am seeking let everyone reach to that state, including me. So it's a remembering, it's a reminder. Whenever you are awfully busy reacting, remember this. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Let everyone be in the state of the well-being. That is what we are seeking in our life. Money for well-being, vacation for the state of the anything in the world, in the life. And if you don't remember, the mind will forget and will cause the delusion. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. So it means let the grace and the blessing fall upon everyone on this earth planet. Why? You have to change your mindset. Today you woke up in the morning, you are attending a session. It is the greatest grace and the blessing by the existence because I woke up in the morning to see I'm still alive. What a great grace and the blessing I have. No, my blessing and grace for me, definition of grace and the blessing is different. What is that different? I should have a $10 million. Love, see that? So that is why we have two questions. What is the common desire of all the living species? And what is the goal of life? Goal of life is to search that permanent peace and happiness within me, not peace and happiness in the wealth. That is the greatest blessing that I remember. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhav. You simply repeat this. When you do the practice, remember the English translation and just do it 24/7. Who is stopping you? And you see what changes comes in a week. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhave. Ma kaschid, let none suffer from misery in the world. So you move with the inner love and the affection that let none suffer from any misery in this world. What is going to happen? It is going to change your mind. Fact is that the knowledge 80% works in the beginning. That is what I used to say, the conviction. I discussed in this today's talk. And now you are looking at the breath. Looking at the breath, the first point of awareness, you are aware of the breath. Second point of awareness, you are aware of the movement of the breath. The breath goes inside the body and comes out of it. Third point of awareness of the breath, that when the breath goes in, you feel the sensation inside the nose. When the breath comes out, you find the sensation inside the nose. Because the breath strikes on the skin of the nose, inside. At the fourth point of awareness, no change in the rate and the rhythm. Who changes the rate and the rhythm of the breath? Your lane one, unwanted thought. That intimate relationship we have of the breath with the mind, according to the Eastern wisdom. Okay. And then you can simply drop 6 point of awareness every time the breath goes. You feel the sensation Shantoham. I am the peace. Breath comes out, you feel the sensation Shantoham. Continue. Continue in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness of the body. The mind is living within. Living within is also rise in awareness. You know what normally say, are you aware and attentive? The entire journey moves on the highway of awareness, attention, and you can add self awareness. Breath awareness, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shantohan continues. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We will share our experiences now. How are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I lost the audio for a little bit, but it recovered, and I guess I did too. So it's fine.
It's fine. Relaxed and calm.
That's right.
Oh, good. How are you, Anne? Unmute, yeah. I normally mute.
I'm fine, but I have to listen to the tape again because for some reason, I don't know, there's something in the air which made me sleepy. It's
Oh,
very strange.
something in
So,
the air that makes you sleepy?
yeah, the temperature, who knows what?
Yes, yes, no issue.
Maybe
You listen to it and understand and let us know. How are you, Mead?
I've I have been distracted today by
Oh,
outside things, and coming here with all of you and your guidance, Girish, I'm coming back again.
coming back again. Good,
Yes.
good. Remember this. That is good if you are coming back, returning to your, sometimes we say returning to our senses.
Mm.
We go out of senses. so, so focus on these four questions, constantly reflect on this and see that how the mind returns to the senses. Returns to the senses means rise in awareness. This journey begins with the self awareness and ends with the self awareness. With that note, we will meet again. Thank you
thank
for
you.
attending this session. Thank you.
Thank you.